University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is David Stouffer and I get to be the recruitment coordinator for the UMSL College of Education. Each week on this podcast, we will meet an innovator in the field of education. We will spend some time getting to know them and learning about their work and how it can help you in yours. It is my sincere hope that this podcast will be a source of encouragement and support as you work to continue impacting lives as an educator. My guest today is Dr. Rin Kim. Dr. Kim is the director of the UMSL College of Education Master of Education Counseling program. She's also an assistant professor in the Department of Education Sciences and Professional Programs. She holds a PhD in counselor education and supervision from the Pennsylvania State University, an MA in counseling, and a BA in education and English education from Korea University. Dr. Kim is a nationally certified counselor and a provisionally licensed professional counselor in Missouri. She has worked as a clinical mental health counselor and a career counselor for both in the U.S. and South Korea since 2012. At UMSL, Dr. Kim teaches courses in helping relationship skills, theories of counseling, psychopathology and diagnosis, and foundations of clinical mental health counseling. Welcome, Dr. Kim.
Hello.
That is quite a resume. I want to dive in and get to know you a little bit better and the work you do here at UMSL. So first of all, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
Can you share, we talked a lot about your background and it's extensive. I'm sure there's a lot of things we left out. So I want to start out and just ask a little bit more about your background and how you came to be part of the faculty here at UMSL.
Yeah, I mean, you did a great job of introducing me. So I'm not, the only thing probably I'll add is that I'm thrilled to be here. And what really am proud of, and then what really made me join the UMSL College of Education is that our emphasis and acknowledgement of the importance of diversity in education and helping individuals. So that is what I am passionate about in my research as well, really serving underrepresented populations and their protective factors, and then the impact of counselor education as counselors serve those populations. I started to seeing clients recently. Like it's been like 5 years to come back to the practice, which has been really good. So I'm seeing clients at our training clinic, which is a counseling and social advocacy center. And seeing clients is wonderful. Like it's been, I missed it so much. And then like that's, our counseling program having the fact that we have that training clinic that is well established is actually one of the reasons why I joined the UMSL College of Education.
Fantastic. When did you start here at UMSL?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh my.
Fall 2020.
How about that?
Yeah.
What drew you to UMSL? Why UMSL?
Mm-hmm. I think it is really, I'll be honest. I did my PhD in the Penn State, which is college town.
Mm-hmm.
In
Nittany Lions, yes.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
So they have a football stadium that is larger than the town, so which is really fun. And also I appreciated the diversity, like cultural diversity that St. Louis can offer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that UMSL is one of the recognized university who for the social mobility was very attractive for me. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that the counseling program has been established, and then they're also acknowledging there's growth areas for improvement. That spirit really attracted me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Home originally, is it South Korea?
Yes, I was born and raised in Seoul and finished my BA and master's in Korea, and then I think I was craving more about like all the literature that I've been citing is from published in the U.S. and like so what would it be like to really go there and then studying that top-notch research, and then learning more about the counseling profession itself, which is it's more established in a way that is like more advanced as a profession, and has a like stronger professional identity, was something that I was curious, so that made me taking it on a plane for 14 hours and then be here.
Sure. Do you get a chance to go back home very often, or?
Yeah, I try to go back home at least once a year over the summer. Actually, that's really, I can sell it, a little bit of a selling point, including that one to this introduction. We have a few summer courses online, so that I can teach even when I'm in Seoul with my family.
Great.
So that's that's helpful.
That's great, and that's, I guess you could say, thank you, pandemic, because that wouldn't have ever happened if we didn't have a pandemic. I certainly would not wish that we. I certainly would wish that the pandemic never happened, but there were some positives that came out of that.
Yeah,
and that's
we
one of them.
adjusted well.
We did. We did. So now you're the director of our Master of Education in Counseling. Talk a little bit about the MED counseling and what the program offers students and what career path from that program.
Yeah, so we are the master's program offering classes all in the evening or online. I would say probably 80% of our courses are actually offered in person in the evening, Monday to Thursday, 5:30 to 8:10. So all of our students are coming in onto campus at around 5 p.m. And then take classes. Because of that, many of our students are actually working full time, if not part time. And then because of that, we have many students with diverse professional backgrounds. Some of them, this is their second or third professions. So having really rich experiences to share in classroom, that's really enriching. And our program is one of a few, I want to say probably 7, KCRAB accredited master's program in the state of Missouri. So that means there are some counseling programs that are not KCRAB accredited and can still work as a school counselor, certified school counselor, but they cannot apply for Missouri professional license. So our graduate students in school counseling especially, they can choose, they will be able to work as a certified school counselor in K through 12 schools. And if they happen to want to work in a private practice or agencies, serving children and adolescents in that way, they can certainly do that and apply for Missouri professional licensure.
Sure. So KCREP is CACREP.
Yes. Yeah, it is a nationwide. It is an accreditation body for the counseling profession. And actually, some states are only offering licensure for those who graduated from the KCREP accredited programs. Missouri is not that going too far with that, but they only if they are graduates, graduates from the KCREP accredited counseling programs, they can skip a lot of paperwork. And they can take a licensure exam before they graduate. So it has benefits, and it makes sense that students look for the KCREP accredited programs. Sure.
So all of our students that graduate with the MED in counseling will achieve the full certification through KCREP.
Yes.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the difference between the clinical mental health counseling track and the school counseling track within the MED counseling program.
That's a great question that I also received from potential students as well. I think the main difference is at the setting. You may love working with children, adolescents, and if you imagine yourself enjoying working in a school setting, like K through 12 school setting, school counseling will be really good position. I mean, there are some clinical mental health counselors working in a school basis, serving for example, a school district, and then serving a couple different schools. But they will be more into long-term relationships or like a 45 minutes individual sessions, but school counselors doesn't have to stick with that like one-on-one meetings. They serve as a leader in school, like kind of like create being a bond for between parents, teachers, school school staff, and then students, and really serving different levels. Individual level, yes, like for students, and in a classroom level, and then like for more larger projects for the whole schools or even school district. That's what school counselors do.
And even the name has shown the evolution of that degree, because we used to be guidance counselors.
Yes.
Now we're school counselors. Does that stem from is there embedded clinical counseling in a school counselor program now? Because that role has changed so much. It's no longer just an academic counselor. You're a counselor for these kids and families as much as a private practice.
Yeah, that's really good point, because we a few years back, like our program had to switch from 48 credit hours program to 60 credit hours program. Like main reason for that is a K-CREP accreditation, and then the reason for that, and that actually really brings like a kind of upgrades what we can offer in school counseling. So at that time, like we, granted, I was not here for those changes, but I heard that a lot of conversation for changes is that better understandings about like how trauma works in school, like how trauma show up in school settings, so that we can advocate for students who have traumatic experiences, and then really help them. How career works, and not just for like where do you want to go, where do you want to work, or like where do you want to go to college. It's not just that, but how career really is embedded in like too many areas. So those are really, school counselor is not about like take these classes or that, but it's more like really like who can overlook not just academics, but like really a holistic view of mental health, career, identity development, all of that.
Okay. And clinical mental health counseling. Talk a little bit about that.
So a lot of times, although like clinical mental health counseling counselors, they work in many different settings. Like sometimes they work in a hospital, VA hospitals or VA offices, in some of the vocational rehab clinics, community agencies, private practice. There's so many settings that we can do. But one thing that in common is that we sit in a lot of times for one-on-one, if not like as a group or couples or families or relationships counseling, and really working on one or two goals. And then like having relatively long-term, I'm saying relatively because, for example, when I was in like university counselor, as a university counselor, you have like a semester usually. When I was working in a high school as a clinical mental health counselor, I have probably like 3 sessions. So like that, like we can be flexible in like what we serve to whom we serve, but it's really like one-on-one and talking about more specific issues, specific mental health concerns.
Okay. And both programs are 60 credit hours?
Yep.
And both have 600 hours of field experience / internship.
Yes, clinical hours. Actually, both school counseling and clinical mental health counseling students, they take probably 60 to 70% of classes together.
Okay.
So that's really fun because like their interests are different, and especially when they start seeing clients or students in their practicum or internship, then they have different aspects, and then they learn from each other in various contents. So, yeah.
Okay. How is these 600 hours? You say that, and someone hears that, and they think, "How do I do that?"
I know.
Right? How do the students do 600 hours of clinicals?
So it is 100 hours for practicum and 600 hours for internship. So it's really in total 700. So that's like overwhelming number for some people. But the 40% of 700 hours, or like 100 and 600, is about direct client contact or student contact. So I usually do a math with my advisees to like, so if you divide it up like 100 into 40%, then that's 40 hours across 16 weeks.
Okay.
So then let's say you see 4 clients, like a week. So that means like half a day. And then if you continue seeing those same clients for 10 weeks, that's 40 hours. Of course, like you'll not just see 4 clients like at once.
Right.
So like you will need some time to build up the hours and then complete those hours. And there could be some like breaks or client something happens. So like there's a wiggle room for that. So it's really half a day for seeing clients, and then 1 more hour for individual supervision, 3 more hours for classroom, and then the rest of them is, like you do your assignments, readings, and think about your clients, writing notes. So like those like 60 hours for indirect hours, that really piles up so quickly.
Right.
So like what we really focus on is really just having that client contact. For practicum, it's like half a day. And then for internships, though, you divide it up for like across 2 or 3 semesters. So it will be probably like 1 full day or like about 2 full days, depending on how students' schedule works. And then you can finish up in probably 3 semesters.
Sure. It still sounds very daunting, but suffice it to say that we have students every semester that figure out a way to make it work, right?
We do, yeah.
We have students in the program, and they figure out how to weave those hours into their busy schedules, so it's doable.
Yeah, and then our faculty advisor, they have, we're one of the programs where like it's not just academic advisor, it's faculty advisor who are actively involved in students' professional development. So we help students finding their sites. All of our students complete their practicum in our training clinic, and they branch out to their own, depending on their sites, their interest, to find the internship sites to complete, and then faculty helps.
Sure. Okay, so anyone listening, don't be scared off by the 700 hours of clinicals. We can make that work. The MED counseling program has received some very impressive recognitions and awards recently. The 2024 Robert Franklin Outstanding Counselor Education Program Award, the Master's Program by the Association of Counselor Education and Supervision, and the 2024 Innovative Counselor Education Program Award by the North Central Association for Counselor Education and Supervision. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit and what that means to you as the director of the program.
Yeah, it really means a lot for me. And it was like, we learned this one of the awards, the fact that we won one of the awards right before, probably 30 seconds before one of our faculty meetings. And I remember I was almost screaming, but I was trying to hold it and then make a formal announcement to the faculty, and we're very, very excited for that. Especially because this is the North Central Association for Counselor Education and Supervision, represents 13 states of the United States. And then the Association for Counselor Education and Supervision is a larger one. So the North Central one was regional, and then the Association for Counselor Education and Supervision represents all states in the U.S. So we honestly apply for both, and hoping for honestly just regional one. But after we know that we won both, I was dancing. Yeah.
I can only imagine. I mean, what a great way to celebrate the hard work that you and the faculty do.
Exactly.
The hard work that the students do, and the recognition of that. That's just remarkable.
I think it's really pointed out really important part because our program has evolved a lot. Like we also found, I also learned that we had won similar awards back in 2011. So it's been 13 years that we are recognized again, and I can only imagine like how far and how much development it happened since then, because we have implemented like so many things. I can spend like probably 3 hours explaining what has changed. But
we only have a few more minutes.
I know, right? Yes. So yes, we have the one thing that I'm really proud of, and then I'm pretty sure it has represented in our letter, is that we really try to open up for feedback from our students. And also from our site supervisors and any like stakeholders, like from adjunct instructors and all that. So that we are not just staying in the ivory tower and then think that this is the right way. Instead, we try to really listen to what's needed in the community and in the profession.
Yeah.
And then we're still in the work to make it better, so that we can serve the program and the students and the community in the long run.
Well, it's fantastic. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
just
you.
amazing, and what a tribute to the program, to your work, and to your team's work. Just fantastic. We bring students into the MED counseling program both in the fall and the spring,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Are they typically in a 3-year cohort where they're taking all the same classes together at the same time? For the most part, is that typically how it works?
Unfortunately and fortunately, no. Because we are offering, well, one of the strengths of our program, I believe, is flexibility. So yes, there are some students who stick with one of our like sample sequence of that we can finish up. They can finish up the program in 3 years. But there are some times where they want to take it slow so that they can really take it in and then not sacrifice their evenings too much. Which
Sanity
makes sense,
and
right?
everything else too, sure.
So then like sometimes they take 3 to 4 years
Okay.
to complete the program, and even 5 years if they really want to like, remove the summer, things like that.
Right.
So yes, it's not necessarily cohort model, but I know there are, like a good bonding happenings in some of the classes, and then they stay friendship, like they develop their friendships.
That's nice. That's a great example of the seriousness that you take the program, for sure. Is there a limit to the number of students you take at the start of each term?
Not necessarily each term, but across the year, we try to admit about 90 students. So of course, like usually the fall start is larger than the spring start. But yes, our deadline for the spring start has just passed in October 1st, and then we're looking for March 1st. So usually we have interviews after the documentation material review, and then our interview day is usually more packed in for the fall start.
So fall enrollment is due by March 1st, the spring before. Spring enrollment applications are due by October 1st.
Correct.
The fall before. Okay, that makes sense. And it does make sense because of the interview process and the supplemental application process and everything. What type of students are you looking for? What's a good candidate for our MED program?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to requirements for any graduate programs at UMSL, 3.0 GPA and, like a good communication styles, we really look for someone with passion in helping people. And if they have some experiences in helping profession, that will be wonderful, but not necessarily. And I think we appreciate someone who is willing to learn, especially willing to learn about not just the counseling theories, but what it means to advocate for the clients. And then someone who is open for feedback, really, because it's not, counseling program is so special that it's not all about knowledge. It's about skills and then exchanging feedback. So someone who is open for feedback, and then is, has a potential in good communication skills, interpersonal skills. That's what we're looking
Sure.
for.
So if someone is interested, they're listening to us and listening to you talk about the MED counseling program, where do they go to find out information and begin the application process?
That's a great one. I usually suggest start with our website, not even have to, go to HTTP, whatever. You can just Google UMSL counseling programs or MED counseling or UMSL CMHC, UMSL school counseling, and then our website pops up like one of the top search engines. So then scroll down and then learn about what we offer. And then there is a little button that says requirements for admission. And then that's a great button to click on and then read it. And then on that file, my email address, which is sorin.kim@umsl.edu will be show up. And then so email me or you.
Or me. Yes, I get a lot of calls, because I send them your way quite often. Well, that's wonderful. Well, this has been great. I can't believe it's already almost half an hour into our conversation. This went fast. Before we go, I want to give you one more chance to just take the microphone and share anything else you would like to share about your work at UMSL and the MED counseling program.
Yeah. I can't say enough about how proud I am with our program. The fact that, of course, granted, we won awards, but also the work that the faculty is doing in terms of, advocating for the community, serving communities, but also their research experiences and then how they care the students. I think that really makes our program outstanding. One kind of like an advertisement is that we're planning to hold a UMSL camp. What it is really mingling with the alumni, community members, and our counseling students to get together and have a little mini career fair.
Well, that's fantastic.
And then some networking opportunities, which will be which we're planning to do it in spring semester, spring 25.
Sure.
We're still deciding the location and the dates and the details.
Well, Dr. Kim, thank you so much. This has been great. I love it when I get calls about our MED counseling program because I know I'm putting them in very good hands with you and the other faculty that help direct and train up our next generation of counselors, be it school counseling or be it clinical mental health counseling. You do great work. Your team does phenomenal work, and I couldn't be more proud to be on the same team with you. And thank you so much for being here today on Triton Talk.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I am honored that you chose to join me today for the University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. I hope you'll join me next time. Till then, I'm David Stouffer. Thank you for the work you do. Never forget, you are making a difference every day.